A murdered Mesquite police officer was remembered not only as an outstanding officer, but a caring and loving husband and father. Hundreds of people gathered at Lake Pointe Church in Rockwall to honor the life of Officer Richard Houston. Officer Houston was killed last Friday while responding to a disturbance in a grocery store parking lot. Fox 4's Sean Rabb has some of those touching stories shared this afternoon. Sean.
Yeah, Steve, 47 years since a Mesquite officer was killed in the line of duty. Richard Houston, the second, only the second. He was remembered today as a driven officer, a dedicated husband and father, and a devoted man of faith. A public service drew people from all walks of life and law enforcement from across the country to say goodbye to father of three, brother to law enforcement, Richard Houston.
He was an all-in kind of person. He didn't do anything halfway.
Mesquite Police Chief David Gill shared moments with the 46-year-old and heroics, saving lives by a man who followed his father into Mesquite Police.
When you get to that page in the deal, it says, "Where else have you applied?" And Richard wrote, "None." There was no other place. There was no backup plan. It was Mesquite. That is what I wanted.
And that is what he was, 21 years, excelling as a SWAT officer and sniper. Assistant Chief Doug Yates spoke to the family in blue.
Officers, you and me, we can handle the weight of your badge together. When you can't carry yours, I will. And when mine gets too heavy, I know you'll step in. Because that's what Richard, my friend, would have us do.
The only song in the service, the Lord's Prayer, sung a cappella by Mesquite Sergeant Cameron McKay.
I will be done.
And I knew this day would come at some point in my life. However, I didn't think it would come so soon.
There were no dry eyes as daughter Shelby, who preached her first sermon 2 days before her dad was killed, talked about him in plaid pajamas.
18 years with you, Daddy, was just not enough time.
And Jamie Jaramillo, who court documents say shot Houston.
My prayer is that someday down the road, I'd get to spend some time with the man who shot my father. Not to scream at him, not to yell at him, not to scold him, simply to tell him about Jesus.
Pastor Wade reminding all of Richard Houston's faith and the hope believers have, sharing scripture the family wanted. John chapter 15, verse 13.
There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Last Friday, Richard laid down his life for the bystander buying groceries, for the runner on an afternoon jog, the driver that was headed home from a long day at work, the other officers in the police department. He laid down his life for us, for his friends.
And after that public service, Steve, the family and members of the Mesquite Police Department returned to the Mesquite area for a private service and private burial. The most poignant moment, though, daughter Shelby just called into ministry, 18 years old. She said, "Part of me wants to despise him, but I can't let any part of my heart have hate." And then she went on to say she hopes she gets to meet with him and pray for him that he be saved. It was a moment filled with chills and tears.